Lovely. So welcome. Thanks for joining me again this morning. Lovely Friday morning. We are still focusing on the hips this week. So again, just thinking about not just that space in the hips, we want to think about that strengthening and that stability in the hips as well. So we won't just be opening up into the front of the body, we'll be strengthening into the back of the body, particularly those glutes and that lower back. And just from a kind of a more, I guess, psychological or emotional point of view, we do hold a lot of tension and emotions within the hips. The hips and the shoulders really is when we are tensing our body, when we're going into that kind of fight or flight mode, we do tend to kind of hold ourselves like so. So that when we do these releases, it can actually be quite emotional, it can actually be quite raw. And this is my fourth hip release class this week. I actually felt a bit emotional last night after it. So don't be too surprised if you do feel a little bit raw after them, because again, if we are holding on to a lot, especially at this time of the year, just let it go. So really focus on your breath this morning. So think about inhale and all the good stuff. And as you exhale, even if it means sighing it out through the lips, just really force that exhale out and just let go of anything you're holding on to. So we'll just start nice, easy, cross-legged. Again, mightn't be so easy for some, but do try to get into it, particularly for the hips. So even if the knees are up here, over time we can let them fall. We'll engage the glutes and we'll let them fall a little bit more. We're going to open the palms, rest them onto the legs. Sitting nice and tall into the spine. Again, noticing if you're dumping into that lower back and just pressing the heart forward. See if we can engage with those core muscles to get a nice strong seat. And we're going to inhale the arms out, reaching up. Interlock fingers, press palms to ceiling, and as we exhale, press those palms forward, releasing through the shoulders. So we do that twice more. Nice big circular breaths, taking the gaze up. Interlock fingers and then exhale, press it forward and release. Last one, again, really trying to bring those arms right back by the ears. Interlock fingers and then exhale, release it all away. Lovely. We're going to go straight into the hips here. So we're going to keep the right shin parallel to the front of the mat. We're going to bend the left knee in and we're going to bring that left leg behind us. So we're coming into 90 degrees with the legs. So we should have a nice 90 degree at the ankle, the knee, the hip, and then the same with the back leg. So we might need to bring that lower leg out so it's at 90 degree, nice square joints here. And we'll notice we're going to fall a little bit to the right here. So we want to reach those left fingertips as far as we can to the left. So you're going to feel this into the left hip and inner groin. We're going to inhale the right arm up. And as we exhale, we're going to reach that right arm over to the left. So you mightn't get much of a reach. We're feeling a little extension along the sideways to the right. And again, we're working into that left hip and groin. Every inhale, see if we can reach through the fingertips, and every exhale, just creep those left fingertips a little bit more. For 2 and 1. We're going to bring that right hand back down beside us. So stay on the fingertips. We're going to inhale here, press the chest forward. And as we exhale, we're going to walk those fingertips forward. So keeping them wider than the body. Walk, walk, walk as far as we can go, keeping that length in the spine. So again, as we inhale, see if we can press the chest forward. And as we exhale, just allow the body sink forward into that fold. So this time we're transferring that release into the right hip. Every exhale, see if we can hinge a little bit deeper. And again, don't get too caught up with how low you're going to the ground. Once you're feeling that into the right hip, a little release into the lower back. Last breath here. Exhale, release. And then inhale, tuck the chin in, walk those hands back toward the body. From here, we're going to hug that left knee in again. And then we're going to see if we can place that left foot onto the right leg, coming into log pose, and the left knee onto the right foot. So again, if that's a little bit too much, just come back into your easy cross-legged. So if we're in log pose, we're pressing the toes toward the knees, and we're sitting nice and tall into the spine. If we're in easy cross-legged, just place the hands onto the knees. We're going to inhale again, lengthen through the spine as we press the heart forward. And as we exhale again, just lean gently forward through the chest. So we're keeping that nice length into the spine. We're not thinking about touching the ground, we're just thinking about pressing the chest forward. Feeling that release into the left glute, lower back. Every exhale, see if we can reach the body forward just a little bit more. Relax the head and neck for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly release it back to center. From here, we're going to place that left foot into the right hand, left knee into the left hand. We're going to see if we can bring that shin parallel with the chest or almost, and draw the toe toward the knee and just gently rock into that left hip joint. So again, if it's too much, you can drop the leg. You want to feel comfortable here. So we're just mobilizing the hip, really drawing that knee back, drawing the leg across the body. Again, if you know you have the space, you can always place that left knee into the left elbow crease, that left foot into the right elbow crease. But again, just make sure you're sitting nice and tall into the spine so you haven't started to collapse into that lower back. So again, just nice gentle mobilization here. And just checking in with those hips. And then we're going to slowly release the foot. We're going to bring the left shin to the front of the mat this time. We're going to bend the right knee in and then again draw that right leg back at our 90-degree angles. So again, get nice and comfy here. So nice square 90-degree angles at all the joints, including that back leg. And again, we're going to find ourselves falling over to the left. So we're going to reach those right fingertips as far to the right as we can. Inhale, left arm up. And as we exhale, we're going to reach that left arm overhead. Again, try to bring the arm back in line with the ear. So we're not reaching forward here. We're reaching across and overhead. Hold it here. Every inhale, reach through the fingertips. And every exhale, walk those fingertips out just a little bit more. For 2. And 1. Slowly release the left hand down back to center on the fingertips. We're going to inhale here, open the heart. And as we exhale again, walk those fingertips outside the body and forward. Inhale, press the chest forward. Exhale, gently fold. And again, every exhale, just getting a little bit closer to the earth as we coax those fingertips forward. Relax the head, relax the neck. Feeling this into the left hip. For 3. For 2. And 1. Slowly release. Tuck the chin in and gently walk it back up to center. We're going to hug that right knee in nice and gently. We're going to see if we can rest that right foot onto the left leg and allow that right knee sink onto the foot, or we can come to easy cross-legged. So again, don't force the hips open. Again, we don't press the leg down. We engage the glute to try to get that space in the hips here. So again, we're either pressing the toes toward the knees or resting the hands onto the knees if we're easy. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And as we exhale, hinge from that lower back as we draw the chest forward. So try not to curl into the upper back. Keep the spine nice and long, nice and strong. Every exhale, hinging just a little bit closer toward the ground, but all the time pulling the heart, pulling the crown of the head forward. Relax the head, relax the neck for 3. Hinge a little bit deeper for 2. And 1. Lovely. Tuck the chin in and gently rise back to center. We're going to place that right foot in the left hand, right knee in the right hand. Again, we're drawing the toe toward the knee, sit nice and long into the spine and draw the shin, again, almost parallel to the chest, or in line with the chest, should I say, and then we're rocking into that right hip. Nice, gentle rocking motion, but try to get that full mobilization into the joint. Again, if you know you have it, you can always place that right foot into the left elbow crease, knee into the right elbow crease, but again, make sure to keep that spine nice and long so we're not dunking into the lower back here. Nice, strong core. And again, just even notice how that feels compared to the other side. Any little niggles, any little restrictions, or it might feel a little bit freer. Lovely. And then we're going to slowly release. Great stuff. So we're going to hug the right knee in, we'll hug the left knee in to meet it, and then we're just going to roll over onto our back. So just make sure you have your tail within reach here. So lying back onto the mat, we're going to hug that right knee into the chest, press away through the left foot. We're going to keep the right hand on the shin, left hand on the hip, and we're going to continue with that mobilization of the hip. So from here, we're going to draw those nice circles into the right hip, so nice circular motion. Doesn't matter what direction, we're going to do both. We're going to bring the fingertips to rest on the knee here, making those circles a little bit larger. And then we might take the hand off the leg altogether and really explore that full movement into the right hip. Maybe bringing that right leg into it as we extend through the foot, draw the leg across the body, knee into chest, draw the hip nice and wide. So again, trying to make as full a movement as we can into the hip. and then reverse it in the other direction. Keep that left hand on the left hip bone to really ground that side of the body to the floor. So we're just focusing in on the right hip here. And again, whatever speed that feels good to you. So you can totally slow it down, feel all those muscles engage, and then make it a little bit flowier as we make the circles a little bit quicker. Lovely. We're going to hug the right knee in toward the chest. We're going to bring the left knee, bending the left knee, bring the left foot onto the ground, and then we're going to rest that right ankle just below the left knee, coming into our figure four. We're going to draw that toe toward the knee, and we're going to press that right knee away from the body, grounding the lower back into the mat. We're going to inhale the left foot off the ground, and then either interlock the hands behind the back of that left hamstring. If we find we're rolling into the chest, coming off the lower back, we can reach for our towel. Wrap it around the back of that left hamstring so we can really walk those shoulder blades together on our inhale. And on our exhale, see if we can draw that left knee a little bit closer toward the face as we work the right knee away from the body, feeling this into the right hip and glutes. Left foot is relaxed, right foot is active. So we're inhaling, lengthening the spine, opening the heart. And as we exhale, see if we can work that left knee a little bit closer. And again, listen to your hips, don't force it. We're just wakening up into the body. Don't forget the breath. Every exhale, just releasing a little bit more. We're going to slowly release that left foot onto the ground. Staying in our figure four, we're going to place the hands flat on the ground, fingertips point toward the front of the mat. See if we can brush the back of that left heel with the fingertips. We're going to inhale, peel the lower back, middle back, upper back off the ground. Gently walk the shoulder blades together. As we press the hips toward the ceiling, we're pressing the arms, the shoulders, and that left foot, particularly the left heel, into the ground as we engage the abdominals and press those hips toward the ceiling. Allow that right knee drop out. Again, if it's too much, feel free to come into your traditional bridge with both feet grounded. We're going to hold it here. Engage the core. We don't want to dump into that lower back. For 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly release the back little by little. We're going to cross that right leg fully over the left. Extend both arms out in line with the shoulders. We're going to shift the hips to the right and then allow both knees drop over to the left, coming into a lovely little spinal twist here. Taking the gaze over the right fingertips, we're going to keep both shoulders nice and grounded. As we inhale, see if we can bring that breath nice and deep into the belly. And as we exhale, just allow those knees drop over a little bit more. Feel that release into the right glute and all throughout the spine. Again, keep the heart open, keep the shoulders grounded. You might need to shift the hips a little bit more to the right so you can really explore the full length of that twist. Last breath here. Exhale, release. And then gently drawing it back to center. We're going to uncross the legs. Hug the left knee in toward the chest. We're going to press away fully through that right foot. Nice active right foot here. We keep the left hand on the shin, right hand on the right hip. And again, we're going to draw those nice circles into the left hip this time. So again, starting small, then maybe moving the fingertips to the knee, making those circles a little bit larger. And then we might take the hand off the leg altogether. And again, really fully explore the full capacity of that rotation into the hip. Again, doesn't matter the direction, we're going to do both. And just notice how that feels from one side to the other. So sometimes just slowing down the movement, touching in with the body, noticing the little imbalances, the little points of restriction can tell a story a lot about what's happening in the rest of the body, particularly in the hips. We're just going to reverse that in the other direction. So really bring that left leg fully into the movement. And again, it's maybe not something you're going to fix in 1 or 2 or 5 or 6 yoga classes, but it's something to be aware of, something you might need to work into, whether it's mobilization, whether it's strengthening. But sometimes it takes slowing down to really notice and tap into these things. Lovely. We're going to hug the left knee in. Then the right knee, bring the foot flat onto the ground. We're going to rest that left ankle just below the right knee, coming into our figure 4. Again, we're drawing the left toe toward the knee as we work the left knee away from the body. ground the lower back. Feel that full connection of the spine to the ground as we engage those abdominals. We're going to inhale a right foot off the ground, shin parallel to the ceiling, and then again, either interlocking the hands behind the back of that right hamstring, or the tail if we find that we're rolling into the spine, into the chest. As we inhale, see if we can walk those shoulder blades together, connect the spine to the ground, and as we exhale, draw that right knee a little bit closer toward the face. So just releasing into that left glute, hip, lovely little stretch for the piriformis here. If you suffer from sciatica, this is a nice little release just to free up the muscle around the nerve. Again, every exhale, see if we can release just a little bit more, but again, don't force it. So it's a nice, gentle, generous release, but there shouldn't be any pain, any numb sensations around it. Don't forget the breath. Every exhale, just a little bit more. When you're ready, we're going to release that right foot onto the ground. Staying in our figure four, we're going to place the hands flat to the ground, fingertips point toward the front of the mat. See if we can brush the back of that right heel with the right fingertips. We're going to inhale, peel the lower back, middle back, upper back off the ground. We're going to walk those shoulder blades together. And then we're going to see if we can interlock those hands into a little fist, pressing the fist into the ground. We're going to engage those tummy muscles as we press the hips toward the ceiling. See if we can really press the heel of that right foot into the ground and feel the hamstrings and glute activate on that right side. Allow the left knee drop open as much as we can, just relying on gravity and that little bit of activation in the left glute. Hold it here. Don't forget to breathe for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly, gently release the grip, release the spine toward the ground. We're going to cross the left leg fully over the right. Extend both arms out in line with the shoulders, palms down. And then shift the hips a little bit to the left and then allow both knees drop over to the right. Taking the gaze over the left fingertips. Again, notice if that left shoulder is coming off the mat. Just gently draw it back down, even if it means lifting the knees a little bit more. Again, we might shift the hips a little bit more to the left, just to really fully get into that twist. So ideally, that left hip is stacked on top of the right, and they're both down the midline of the mat. So we're getting that full twist of rotation from the lower back to the middle back, up into the chest, and as we take that gaze over the left shoulder, releasing it through the neck. Again, nice, full, big belly breaths here. So really exaggerating that breath deep into the belly. And as we exhale, just release into that space. Let it all go in the twist. Feel that lovely release in the left glute, into the lower back, and all throughout the spine and into the chest. Last breath here. And then slowly we're going to inhale back to center. Uncross the legs. We're going to hug both knees in toward the chest. And as we exhale, we're going to draw both knees outside the line of the body. So a little variation on our happy baby. Just keep the legs relaxed though. We're going to keep that lower back connected to the ground as much as we can. Inhale here, open the heart, lengthen the spine. And as we exhale, just draw those knees out a little bit wider. So just getting into those inner hips, feel that into the groin, all across the front of the pelvis here, and just enjoy that release for what it is. So again, we're not pulling the legs apart, just allowing gravity and that little bit of activation of the glutes get us a wee bit deeper into those hips. Last breath here. And then slowly drawing the knees in. We're going to hug them into the chest as we crisscross at the ankles. Take 3 or 4 rolls forward and back along the mat. Again, if this is too much, you can always just meet us in seat. Use the motion to massage the full length of the spine into the ground. And when you've taken your 3 or 4 rolls, we're going to engage with the core to bring ourselves up to seat. Coming right onto our hands and knees, into our tabletop. So shoulders over elbows, over wrists, elbow creases face forward. We're literally pressing the ground away, activating those shoulder blades. Knees about hip width distance apart, hips over knees. And again, just notice if the belly's dumped and we're crunching into the lower back. So slight little activation of the tummy muscles as we draw the belly button toward the lower back. We're going to inhale, press the chest forward, Taking the gaze forward, arching the spine. Exhale, press into the ground, curl through the spine, take the gaze back toward the belly. Inhale, gaze goes forward and up, arching the spine. Exhale, press into the ground, curl through the spine and stretch between the shoulders. Inhale, forward and up, little bend to the elbows. Exhale, release it back. Really tucking that chin in, release the neck. Continue with your own breath from front to back. Little cat-cow curls, really exaggerating the motion within the spine. So again, it's all connected. If we're tight in the spine, we're going to feel that in the hips. If we're tight in the hips, we're going to feel that particularly into the lower back. So we need to work all of these complex parts of the body in tandem, not just alienating the movement. So freeing up everything around the hips as well as the hips themselves. Again, just anywhere you feel particularly tight or niggly, maybe pause into that space, take an extra breath here and just really explore that movement within the spine. Nearly there. And again, you really cannot do too many of these. Just a lovely way of keeping that mobility into the spine. Particularly if we sit a lot in our work, this is a lovely one just to waken up the body. You can do it at any time in the day. Lovely. We're going to meet back in tabletop when you're ready. We're going to keep those hands grounded. Just keep checking in that the shoulders are over the wrists. So we're not jumping back into the wrists. We're going to inhale, press back through the right foot. We're going to bend the right knee and press the sole of the right foot toward the ceiling. Again, notice here if the belly's got lazy and we're crunching into the lower back. So again, we're going to tuck that belly button toward the back of the spine. Feel the tummy muscles engage and then engage that right glute to get that leg to lift a little bit. We're going to rotate the right hip open and press back through the sole of the foot. See if we can keep the knee nice and high, even higher than hip. Hold it here, pressing back through the sole of the foot for 3, for 2, and 1. We're going to inhale, draw that right knee forward toward the elbow. And as we exhale, we're going to press back through that right foot. Rotate the hip. Inhale, bringing the right knee forward. Exhale, press it back and lift. Rotate. Inhale, right knee forward. Exhale, press it back and lift. Rotate. So continue with your own breath. So again, you can make this movement quite flowy, or you can break it down into its component parts, whatever feels good for you. So I want you to imagine there's a box out to your right, a nice big box, and you're trying to keep that knee and hip and foot nice and high as we lift the leg over it and get that full rotation into that right hip. So we're looking for glute activation, hamstring activation, and a nice little bit of mobilization into the hip. Don't forget to breathe. Keep the core nice and active. Keep those tummy muscles engaged. Last rotation. And then we're going to press back onto the ball of that right foot and just get a nice little rest and release into the back of the right leg for 3, for 2, and 1. Right knee comes back to meet left. We're going to do the same on the other side. Press back through the left foot, bend the left knee, press the sole of the left foot toward the ceiling. Again, engage those tummy muscles, release that lower back, engage that left glute to get that leg to lift for 3, for 2, and 1. We're going to rotate that left hip open. We're going to press back through the left sole of the foot. Again, keep the left knee nice and high for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale, bend the left knee, draw it forward to touch the left elbow. Exhale, press back through the left foot. Press the sole toward the ceiling. Rotate the hip. Inhale, left knee forward to the elbow. Exhale, press it back and lift. Rotate. Inhale forward. Exhale it back and lift. Rotate. Continue with your own breath. Again, notice if you're jumping into those wrists, so if you need to adjust where those wrists are underneath the shoulders. Keeping that left leg nice and high at all times. Think about that box out to your left. We're trying to draw knee, foot, and hip right over it. Full movement into that left hip. And again, just notice any little clicks or pops or clunks, any little resistances to the movement. Notice how it feels compared to the other side. So again, using this to really check in with what is going on with the hips. And that can tell a lot about what is going on with the rest of the body, particularly the legs and the spine. Last one. And then release onto the ball of that left foot as we extend through the back of the left leg. Gently press the heel away for 3, for 2, and 1. Release the left knee to meet the right. From here, we're going to tuck both toes under as we press the ground away out in front. Feel that nice release into the soles of the feet as we press back through the heels. We're going to inhale, lift the hips toward the ceiling, lift the knees, and as we exhale, we're going to draw those heels down toward the ground, coming into our downward dog. So a nice little upside down V here. Feet are about hip-width distance apart, or maybe even a little bit wider if it feels better. We're going to catch hold of the outer parts of our mat, so getting a nice grip with our hands. And then we're going to press the chest toward the ground. So we're kind of pulling the mat away from us, trying to create an extra little bit of space into the chest, in between the shoulders. Feel those shoulder muscles engage. We're going to inhale, lift the hips high as we come onto the tippy toes. And as we exhale, gently lower those heels toward the ground. Inhale, tippy toes, gaze goes back toward the knees. Exhale, gently lower. 3 more. As we exhale, see if we can engage the fronts of the legs into the quads to get an extra little bit of space into the backs of the legs. Keep those hips high. Last one. Exhale, release. So again, bringing those hands back to our regular downward dog. So fingers are nicely spread. Finger pads and knuckles pressed into the ground. Nice and light in the wrists. And we're literally pressing the ground away. So feeling that same sensation as if we were gripping the mat. We're going to inhale, look forward. Gently walk to the front of the mat. Coming into a nice deep forward fold. Knees nicely bent. Feet a little bit wider than hip-width distance apart. Allow the head, neck, everything relax into that fold. Resting the belly onto the legs. Bending the knees nice and generous. Release the breath. Release the tension in the upper body. We're going to gently hook the chin in toward the chest and slowly roll our way up to stand. Head comes up last. Nice. Take a drink if you need it. We're going to go through a few little rounds of sun salutations. And we're going to throw in quite a few variations in our sun salutations just to really warm up into those hips so we can access a little bit more space into them toward the end of the class. So we're going to meet at the front of the mat. Feet nicely grounded, about hip-width distance apart, and really feel all corners of the feet into the mat. Really spread through the toes, really grip through the arches, and then spread the feet. Pressing the ball of the foot as far away from the heel as we can. So really connecting here. We're going to press the hands to heart center. Draw the shoulders toward the ears, and then draw them together down the spine. Feel those tummy muscles engage. Feel those leg muscles engage. And keep a little bit of springiness into those knees. We're going to inhale the arms out, reaching up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Nice little bend to the knees here. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins, nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge, we're going to drop the right knee down. Inhale, both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart, and then return them to the mat. We're going to step the left foot back to meet right into our first plank. Shoulders over elbows over wrists. Elbow crease space forward. Literally press the ground away. Engage those shoulders. If you need to come to the knees, by all means do, but keep the core long and keep the spine strong. For 3, pressing back through the heels. For 2 and 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground. Keep the elbows tucked in, roll the heart forward, untuck the toes. Press the feet into the ground as we lift the heart forward. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. Walking it out nice and easy. So again, use our downward dog just to really waken up into the body this morning. Relax the gaze. Gaze is back toward the knees or the belly. We're going to inhale that right leg up. Looking forward, stepping right foot into lunge. Left foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center. Hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, dropping left knee down. Inhale, both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart as we bring them back to the mat. Stepping that right foot back to meet left into our plank. Again, check in with those hips. Are they dropping? Is the bum up in the air? We want that nice long line from the base of the neck, through the spine, through the legs, as we press away through the heels for 3. Press the ground away for 2. And 1. Exhale, knees, chest chin to the ground, roll the heart forward onto the toes, press the feet into the ground as we draw those shoulder blades together. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. Again, walking it out nice and easy. And you can use that walk to really explore into the hips. So don't be afraid to bring a little bit of a swagger to the walk here and just feel that nice release into the hips. We're going to inhale the left leg up, looking forward, stepping left foot into lunge, right foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center, hands extended up. Exhale, hands to heart. Second round when you're ready. Again, same starting pose. Feet nicely grounded, hands to heart. Engage the core, draw the heart open. Take a moment here to reconnect with your breath. Nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, just sigh it out. Inhale, arms out, reach it up. Exhale, swan dive, fold. Inhale, gaze forward, draw that chest forward. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge, we're going to hold it here, coming onto the fingertips and just feel an extra little release into those hips. Draw the chest forward as we inhale, and as we exhale, allow that hip, particularly that right hip, melt toward the ground for 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, release that right knee to the ground. We're going to inhale, both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart, and then back to the mat. We're going to step that left foot back to meet right. Hold in plank for 3, press on the ground away for 2, and 1. Exhale, knees, chest into the mat, roll the heart forward, untuck the toes, press the feet into the ground, lift the chest forward, hold for an extra breath as we hover the fingertips off the ground. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. Again, walking it out, or if you wish, you can bring stillness to your downward dog and just think about pressing the ground away, lifting the hips toward the ceiling and drawing those heels down toward the ground. We're going to inhale that right leg up, looking forward, stepping right foot into lunge, left foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center, hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive, fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins, nice flat back. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, staying high on the fingertips. We're going to inhale, press the chest forward, draw those shoulders back. As we exhale, see if we can sink that left hip a little bit closer toward the ground. That right knee is directly over the ankle, so the knee isn't coming out in front of that foot. Hold for 3, release that hip for 2, and 1. Exhale that left knee down onto the ground. We're going to inhale, both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart, and then release them to the ground. Stepping right foot back to meet left, hold in plank for 3. Don't forget to breathe for 2, and 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground, roll the heart forward, untuck the toes. Press the feet into the ground as we lift the chest forward. Hold for an extra breath, hover those fingertips off the ground and keep that lift. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. Again, walk it out or stillness, your choice. Whenever the body feels it needs this time in the morning, it could be wakening up, it could be grounding. We're going to inhale that left leg up, looking forward, stepping left foot into lunge, right foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center, hands extended up. Exhale, hands to heart. Lovely. Third round, when you're ready. Again, feet nicely grounded, hip width distance apart, hands to heart. Really ground yourself into that standing pose. Feel the strength within the body. We're going to inhale, arms out, reaching up. Exhale, swan dive fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge, again staying high on the fingertips. Inhale the heart forward. Exhale, drop those hips toward the ground a little bit more. Keeping on the ball of that right foot, so keep the knee lifted if you can for 3. Really release those hips toward the ground for 2. And 1. We're going to place the right hand flat onto the ground, and then we're going to inhale the left arm up toward the ceiling, opening the heart. Really reach those fingertips toward the ceiling. Again, if you need to drop onto that right knee, by all means do. Hold it here. Press back through the right heel for 3, for 2, and 1. Fingertips back to the front of the mat. We're going to inhale both arms out, reaching up, staying off the knee if we can, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart, and then bring those hands down to the ground. We're going to step that left foot back to meet right. Hold it here in our plank for 3. Nice strong plank for 2. And 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga to the ground. If you're in chaturanga, keep those elbows tucked in, elbow creases face forward, lower to mat. Untuck the toes, press the heart open as we press those feet into the ground. Keep the core engaged. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. We're going to inhale, lift that right leg up. We're going to bend the right knee, open the hips to the right side of the room. See if we can lift that right knee a little bit more as we draw the left heel toward the ground. Core is engaged, pressing away through those arms for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale, back to 3-legged dog. Look forward between the hands. We're going to step that right foot into lunge. Left foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, again staying on those fingertips. As we inhale, draw the chest forward, draw the shoulders back. As we exhale, gently sink those hips toward the ground. As we press back through the left heel. Again, if you need to come down onto the knee, by all means do. Listen to your own body here. Allow those hips release for 3. Keep that knee stacked over the ankle for 2. And 1. Keeping the knee lifted if we can. We're going to flatten out through that left hand. Inhale the right arm up toward the ceiling, opening the heart. Really reaching those fingertips toward the ceiling. We're pressing the left hand into the ground. Press back through the left heel. Gaze goes up for 3. For 2, and 1. Right hand comes back to meet left, onto the fingertips. Keep the knee lifted if you can. Inhale, both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart, and then draw those hands back down toward the ground. Stepping that right foot back to meet left into our plank for 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga to the ground. Elbows tucked in. Drawing the chest forward, untucking the toes, pressing the feet into the ground as we lift the heart open. Keep the tummy muscles engaged. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. We're going to inhale that left leg up. Bend the left knee, open the hips toward the left side. So we should be able to look underneath the right armpit and see that left foot hanging out. We're going to lift that left knee a little bit higher as we press back into that right heel. Both arms are grounded evenly for 3. Lift the knee for 2 and 1. Inhale back to 3-legged. Look forward between the hands. We're going to step that left foot into lunge. Right foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center. Hands extended up. Exhale, hands to heart. Well done. Take a drink if you need it. We should be quite warmed up into the hips at this stage, so just allowing us then access a little bit more space. So particularly with the hips, and if we are quite tight, if we go too deep into our releases too soon, we could actually hurt ourselves if they're that tight, okay? So we just want to mobilize, warm up, activate, and then we can integrate that. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to come to the front, feet nicely grounded. hands to heart. Inhale here. As we exhale, we're going to step that right foot back and we're going to bring both feet so that they're parallel to either ends of the mat. And then we're going to splay the feet out at about 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. From here, we're going to inhale the arms out, reaching up, palms together. As we exhale, we're going to bend through both knees, draw the hands to heart center. So coming into a little sumo squat here. You're going as low as is comfortable to you. Weight is going back into the heels and hips, and we're keeping that nice strength into the core. We're going to inhale, arms out, reaching up, palms together, gaze goes up. Exhale, bend through the knees, hands to heart, little sumo squat. Inhale, rise up, nice big circles. Exhale, gently lower as we bend into the knees. Inhale, rise, drawing those arms right back by the ears. Exhale, gently lower. So do a few more with your own breath. So again, really pressing those heels into the ground, feeling the quads, the hamstrings, the glutes all activate here, keeping those tummy muscles nice and strong, spine nice and strong. Follow the gaze up and then following it straight ahead. Getting a little bit deeper with each exhale. Again, only if it feels good. Find a nice little release into the groin here. Last one. We're going to meet in our squat. Again, keeping the feet as they are. We're going to rest the hands, fingertips point forward. We're going to rest the hands just above the knee. We're going to sit here. We're going to inhale, draw the left shoulder forward. As we exhale, curl through the spine and draw the right shoulder forward. So inhale left, take a gaze over the right. And then draw that right shoulder forward, take a gaze over the left. So keeping the bend in the knee, just getting a nice little twist and release through the spine into the chest. Using that connection of the hands and the legs to almost press our way into that twist. So again, nice little goddess twist here. If the bend is too much, you can always come out of it just a little bit. Last two, both sides. Last one. And then meet back in center. From here, we're going to bring the hands to heart and gently lower just a little bit more. We're going to hold it here. Press the chest forward. If the elbows rest on the inner thighs, we can always use them to prop the hips open a little bit more for 3. Really feeling those glutes here for 2 and 1. Inhale, release, arms up. And then exhale, hands to heart. We're going to flip both feet so they point to the front of the mat. Heart to the front, bend into that left knee, and then draw that right foot up to meet left. Back to our standing pose. Again, catch in with the breath here. Notice if you've been holding it. Notice if it's caught up in the chest. So we're going to take a nice deep inhale together through the nose. Feel that throughout the whole length of the body. And as we exhale, just sigh it out, release and let it go. One more like that. When you're ready, inhale, arms out, reaching up. Exhale, swan dive fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge, we're going to drop the right heel down. So back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. High on the fingertips. Engage those tummy muscles to draw ourselves up into our warrior 2 pose. Check in. That left heel is bisecting the arch of the back foot. Left knee is directly over the middle toe on that front foot, so it's not falling into the right. So if we're tight in the hips, that's going to happen. We want to draw that leg out to engage that left glute. Opening the arms out in line with the shoulders. Engage the tummy muscles so we're not back bending here. Pressing into the outer blade of that right foot. Gaze over the middle finger on that left hand. Hold it here. Inhale. And as we exhale, get a little bit deeper into that front leg. Again, only if it feels okay in the knee. We're going to inhale here. As we exhale, we're going to rest the right hand on the back leg. Inhale, left arm toward the ceiling and draw that left arm back overhead. Hold in reverse for 3. Gazes over the shoulder for 2 and 1. Inhale, back to warrior. This time as we exhale, we're going to rest the left forearm on the front leg. Draw a nice big circle with that right arm as we extend the arm overhead and then reach forward over the body through the fingertips, gaze goes up. Nice long line from the back foot through the side waist, through that right arm, and really reach away through the fingertips for 2 and 1. Inhale back to warrior 2. Little flow here. Exhale, reverse a warrior. Rest that hand, extend back through the left arm. Inhale back to warrior. Exhale it forward. Reach forward through the right fingertips. Inhale back to warrior. Exhale, reverse. Keep that left knee bent. Inhale, warrior. Exhale it forward. Continue with your own breath. So you control the movement. Really feeling that into the hips. Feeling that lovely extension into the side waist. Really exaggerating the movement with the arms. So really enjoying that release, that reach through the arms, through the fingertips. Wherever we're at, we're going to meet back in our warrior 2. Looking forward, we're going to cartwheel both hands down, either side of the left foot, coming onto the ball of the right foot. We're going to rest that right knee down, untuck the toe, and then we're going to walk the left foot to the very outside of the mat, bringing both hands inside the left foot. Just checking that left knee is over the ankle and not out in front. Staying high in the fingertips, we're going to draw the chest forward, draw the shoulders back, and as we exhale, just allow those hips sink toward the ground. Maybe walking that right foot back a little bit more. If you find your bum's up in the air and you're not really releasing into the hips, taking an object like your block or like a good thick book or a little box, just so that you can get that extra little bit of length into the arms, and then you'll feel those hips release a little bit more toward the ground. So we're staying high here, working in our heart and our hips. Inhale, draw the chest forward. Exhale, release those hips. Think about the breath. Every exhale, releasing anything that you're holding in any part of the body, not just the hips. Just really sigh it out, release and let it go. From here, we're going to bring the right hand to the center of the mat. Place the left hand just above the left knee. And then we're going to look over that left shoulder as we come through a little gentle spinal twist here. We can press that left hand into the leg, getting an extra little twist. Feel that bonus release into the front of the right hip for 3. Gaze goes back for 2 and 1. Inhale, back to center. Both hands come to the mat. We're going to tuck the right toe under, come off the knee, and really gently draw that left foot back to meet right. Nice and easy. Walk it out in our downward dog. Nice and slowly, just feel that nice little bit of space into the hip. We're going to inhale that right leg up, looking forward, stepping right foot into lunge. Left foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, we're going to drop that left heel down so it's parallel with the back of the mat. Really pressing the outer blade of that left foot into the ground. Engage the tummy muscles to slowly draw ourselves up into our warrior 2 legs. So again, right heel in line with the arch, middle arch of the back foot. Pressing into that right leg and just making sure that knee is tracking over the middle toe of that front foot. Extend both arms out in line with the shoulders. Draw the shoulders back, press the heart open. Again, notice if we've got into a little back bend here. So we want to tilt the pelvis under, so we're sucking the belly button in toward the back of the spine. We feel an extra little release into that left hip here. Hold for 3. Get a little bit deeper into those hips on the exhale for 2 and 1. Inhale as we exhale, resting the left hand on the back leg as we extend that right arm back overhead. Keep the bend in the right knee. Hold it here as we reach back through the fingertips. Arm is up in line with the right ear for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale back to warrior center. Exhale, rest the forearm on the right leg as we draw a nice big circle with that left arm up overhead, and then extend the arm out in front. Again, we're drawing the arm back by the ear. We're not reaching out to the left. Try to engage that shoulder to really open into the heart. Gaze goes toward the fingertips if it feels good. And just check that that knee is still over the toe and it's not falling into the left. For 3, for 2, And one. Inhale, back to warrior. Little flow here. Exhale, hand rest in the back leg as we extend that right arm overhead. Inhale, warrior. Exhale it forward. Reach through the fingertips. Inhale, back to warrior. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior. Exhale it forward. Continue with your own breath. And again, you might even close down the eyes and really challenge the balance here. So taking away that point of focus, that point of visual focus, and just really coming in on the movement. See how it feels. Make it as flowy or break it up into its component parts. Your choice. Whatever feels good. Again, keeping that bend in the front knee. Starting to feel that glute and hamstring and quad react. Wherever we're at, we're going to meet back in our warrior two at center. Cartwheel both hands down either side of the right foot, coming onto the ball of the left foot. Staying high in the fingertips. We're going to rest that left knee down, untuck the toe. We're going to walk that right foot to the very outside of the mat and bring both arms inside the right foot. Again, staying on the fingertips, we might work that left knee back a little bit more. Right knee is over the ankle and not out front. We're going to inhale, draw the chest forward as we draw the shoulders back. And as we exhale, just gently sink those hips a little bit closer toward the ground. Relax the head, relax the neck. If we're already quite low on the hips, we can always come to the flats of the hands, but just make sure the hips are falling toward the ground and the bum hasn't suddenly popped up. So if the bum's popped up, you're going to find that you're actually compressing into the hips and you're weakening the lower back. So what we want to do, we want to feel that release in the hips. So if it means coming really high in the fingertips or coming onto a block or a box and just really allowing that release happen in the hips toward the ground. Relax the upper body. Keep drawing those shoulders back. Lengthen the spine. Release the hips. Last couple of breaths here. We're going to bring that left hand to the center of the mat. Place the right hand just above the right knee. Take the gaze over the right shoulder. So we're gently pressing that right hand into the leg, engaging that right shoulder to really draw the chest open. Take the gaze back. Feel that extra little release into the front of the left hip for 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, back to the front of the mat. Both hands to the front. We're going to tuck the left toe under, coming off the knee. Nice and gently, drawing that right foot back to meet left. Nice and easy, walking it out in our downward dog. No sudden movements here. We're going to go a little bit more into the hips for the last little bit here. We're going to inhale that left leg up, looking forward. Bend the left knee and rest the left knee just behind the left wrist. We're going to untuck the right toe, resting that right knee onto the ground. So that left shin should be at about 45 degrees to the front of the mat. Shallower if it feels good. We're going to draw the left toe toward the knee, coming high onto the fingertips to start with. Drawing the chest forward, drawing the shoulders back. If that's too much in the hips, you can always fall over onto that left hip and then just draw the shin a little bit more toward the front of the mat and gently lean forward. Otherwise, joining me in pigeon. So we're going to keep the heart open, keep the fingers grounded, feel that release, particularly into the right hip. If that feels good, we're going to walk the hands forward, keeping the hips even, making a little pillow with the hands by piling one hand on top of the other or maybe one fist on top of the other, and just totally taking the weight out of the head and neck as we rest the head onto those hands. This could be a block, it could be a towel either. But again, just relaxing the upper body and feeling that lovely release into the hips. So think about lengthening the spine forward through the crown of the head as we inhale. And as we exhale, just allow the full weight of the body, the breath, gravity, draw you a little bit closer toward the ground where you feel that release into the hips. Try to keep the hips even. So unless it's too tight and we need to fall over onto the left hip, try to keep both hips even. Try to keep the heart even forward. Every exhale, just sigh it out, release and let it go. So use your pigeon pose to really release any tension you're holding within any part of the body, not just the hips. It could be the shoulders, it could be the heart, it could be the face. Maybe you're clenching your jaw, maybe you're frowning.
So just think about that breath. You're inhaling all the good stuff, and then exhale, just sigh it out. Let it go, release, release, release. So again, by getting a wee bit deeper into the fascia of the hips, we might have release tension happening in other places of the body, particularly into the legs and up through the spine. So again, we mightn't even realize there's something going on until we release it. And that feeling of tension, tightness, instability suddenly starts to ease. Last couple of breaths here. Last nice deep exhale, release. And then slowly we're going to press those hands into the ground, tuck the chin into the chest, gently walk back up onto the fingertips. So again, back into our nice open heart. Again, we might stay here for the next couple of breaths. If we want to get a little bonus stretch into the quad, we're going to bring the left hand to the center of the mat out in front, staying on the fingertips. We're going to bend the right knee, drawing the heel toward the bum, and then we're going to extend that right arm out in front. And as we exhale, we're going to reach back with the right hand to catch hold of the foot, pressing the hand in, or pressing the foot into the hand and the heel toward the bum, and see if we can draw that right shoulder forward, taking the gaze forward for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly release that right foot down, bringing both hands to the front of the mat. We're going to gently tuck the right toe under, coming off the knee, and really easy drawing that left foot back to meet right. Nice and easy, walking it out in our downward dog. Nearly there, just feeling that little bit of extra space here. We're going to inhale the right leg up, looking forward, bend the right knee, rest it just to the back of that right wrist. We're going to untuck the left toe, resting the left knee down onto the ground, staying high on the fingertips to start with. That right shin is at about 45 to the front of the mat. Could be shallower if you're already quite open in the hips, but do not force it. We're drawing that right toe toward the knee. We're walking that left foot back a little bit more. Inhale, press the chest forward, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, sink those hips a little bit closer toward the ground. Again, keep the tummy muscles slightly engaged so we're not dumping into that lower back. And again, if you need to come over onto that right bum cheek, by all means do. We're going to inhale here, and as we exhale, release the hands forward, making our little pillow with our hands or our fists or our block or our towel. Just make sure the head and neck are fully released and relaxed. Again, we might need to adjust the hips here. Walking that left toe back. Having the hips evenly to the front, having the heart evenly to the front. Again, every inhale, think about somebody literally pulling your spine long. So crown is moving forward, hips are moving back. And as we exhale, again, just allow gravity, the breath, the weight of the body, the chest, the hips, the belly, absolutely everything. Just let it go on that breath. Nice big full body breaths, really drawing that breath deep into the belly. And as we exhale, just sigh it out, release and let it go. Same thing goes for any thoughts coming into your head. So forget where you need to be, forget where you've been. Just be on the mat, be in this present moment. Just release anything that's not serving you, just release with the breath and let it go. Last couple of breaths here. Last big release. And then gently pressing the hands into the ground, tucking the chin in toward the chest, walking those fingertips back to the mat, opening the heart, drawing those shoulders back. And again, we might stay here for the last few breaths, or we might bring those right fingertips to the center of the mat. Bending through the left knee as we draw the heel towards the bum. We're going to extend the left arm out in front as we exhale, reach back to catch hold of that left foot, and then gently draw the left shoulder forward. We're pressing the foot into the hand as we draw the heel back toward the bum. Feel that nice release in the quad for 3. Keep the core strong for 2. And 1. Slowly release the left foot, release the grip, bring both hands back to the front of the mat. We're going to gently tuck the left toe under, coming off the knee, and nice and easy, draw that right foot back to meet left. Nice and easy, walking it out in our downward dog, feeling that space across both hips now. A lot of work here into the hips this morning. We're going to gently release down onto the knees, untuck the toes, coming onto the forearms. Keep the toes together. We're going to bring the knees as wide as we can, sitting back toward the heels and just making a little pillow with those hands. Again, resting the head down. And in our wide-legged child's pose, we're just going to gently rock the hips side to side. So again, just feel that nice release into the hips, the glutes, the lower back. Rock, rock, rock. Getting rid of any bits of tension still left within the body, just sigh it out. And when you're ready, we're going to come to stillness. Press those hands into the ground, tuck the chin in toward the chest, and then gently walk those hands back toward the body as we sit back up onto the heels. We're going to gently scooch the knees together, and we're going to finish in our seated pose with 3 nice active closing breaths. So we're going to open the palms to the ceiling, sit nice and tall and strong into the spine. And we're going to inhale the arms out, reaching up. Interlock fingers, press palms to the ceiling. As we exhale, press them forward as we sigh the breath out through the lips and let it go. 2 more like that. Nice big full circular breaths. Exhale, release. Last one. And then gently bring the hands to heart, pressing the palms together, closing down the eyes, and just thanking yourselves for creating a wee bit of space in your Friday morning to come to the mat to look after yourselves in body and in mind, and hopefully take that new strength with you into the day and into the weekend ahead. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. Namaste.